Now let's start to question 3. It says a competitive firm has the following short-run cost function. Total cost equal to q cube minus 8q squared plus 30q plus 5. A third degree cost function which is expected according to the short-run production function we have already made in chapter 6. At question A, it asks find marginal cost, average cost and average variable cost and sketch them on a graph. It's the easy one. The marginal cost is the first derivative of the total cost function, so 3q squared minus 16q plus 3 is the marginal cost function. Average cost is total cost over q, so q squared minus 16q plus 3 is the average cost. And average variable cost is the total variable cost over q. That part is the total variable cost, which depends on the level of output. So the total variable cost is q squared minus 8q. Sorry, by the way, average cost q squared minus, it must be 8q. Average cost is q squared minus 8q plus 3 plus 5 over q, right? So average variable cost q squared minus 8q plus 3. Please try to see that, sorry. Please try to see that. That part is average variable cost and that part is average fixed cost. That is the same. And sketch them on a graph, it says in the question. Here Q and here marginal cost, average cost and average variable cost. All for third degree total cost functions, we have second degree marginal cost, average cost and average variable cost. So they are all are in U shape. So average variable cost, something like that. And average cost is just above the average variable cost, because average cost is just sum of average variable cost and average fixed cost, and they are not parallel to each other. Please remember the rule. The vertical difference between them is called as the average fixed cost, and it just decreases within the level of output. And the marginal cost is also in the second degree and it's U-shape, it means, and it will just intersect average variable cost and average cost at its minimum point, just like that. That is the marginal cost function. Okay, that was the question A. Let's come to question B. At what range of prices will the firm supply zero output? It's asking here the shutdown condition, shutdown point. Please remember the shutdown condition. The firm supplies or firm will shut down if the price is just less than the average variable cost. Firms want to cover the at least average variable cost to go with, to continue its business. So that is the condition for shutdown. And if price is greater than average variable cost, the firm will continue to its business. If price equal to average variable cost, then the firm will be indifferent between shutting down or continuing to the business. It's not important for this question. And the price is determined as equal to marginal cost. So we can think that the shutdown condition is also the shutdown point is the point where marginal cost equal to average variable cost. So here this point is shutdown point. It's also the minimum point of the average variable cost. So we will find the shutdown point to learn the minimum price that the firm wants to continue for its business. We found average variable cost function here. Average variable cost function q squared minus 8q plus 3. To find the minimum point of the average variable cost, again you can use two methods. The one is you can equalize average variable cost to marginal cost, or alternatively you can derive the average variable cost function for q and equalize it to 0. Now let's use the second one and derive the function 2q minus 8 and equalize it to 0. So you will get q equal to 4 at the shutdown point. But we need the price, we need that value. So if q equal to 4, then average variable cost is q squared 4 square minus 8 times 4 plus 3, which is, bir daha kopya çekelim. Neymiş bakalım. 14. So that is 14, which means that if price is greater than 14, then the firm will supply. Firm will continue to its business. But if price is less than 14, then the firm will shut down. What was the question, by the way? Yes. At what range of prices will the firm supply zero output? So if the price is less than 14, the firm will supply zero output. At question C, it says identify the firm supply curve on your graph. Let's mark the firm supply function here. The firm will start the minimum acceptable price. The minimum acceptable price for the firm is 14, we said. For any greater than 14, any price greater than 14, the firm will supply, and this supply decision will be made on the marginal cost function. So the red part of the marginal cost function is the firm supply. And at question D, it is asked, şuraya sığdıralım onu da. At question D, it is asked, at what price would the firm supply exactly 6 units of output? It's asked just what would be the price for the 6 units of output. The supply decision will be made on the marginal cost function. So we know the marginal cost function here. Marginal cost equal to 3q squared minus 16q plus 3. And it is just asked what is the price for 6 units of output for this firm. So you will just insert that value into the marginal cost function and you will get 42, the marginal cost, and the price must be 42. So if the price is determined in the market is 42. Burada tersten sormuş soruyu, dikkat edin. Normalde fiyat şuyken firma kaç tane arz eder diye sorar. Burada öyle yapmamış. Firmanın 6 tane mal arz edebilmesi için fiyatın kaç olması gerekir diye sormuş. Dolayısıyla 6 birimi Q'yu yani marginal cost'ta yerine yazdığımız zaman fiyatın yani marjinal maliyetin 42 olması gerektiğini söyleyebiliriz. And that is the end of the question, question 3 or 4, question 3.